Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and this is your boy Oscar Morjan, and we're with our host, Brandon Cox.
Walker is going to have some words with
Yeah,
you there,
no, that's fine.
Your
I thought it was
boy,
solid.
your boy Oscar.
Your boy.
Oh my dear.
I thought it was
Lord.
solid. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
wasn't bad given given the quickness that you had to come up with it. So, fair enough.
Pretty natural.
It was pretty natural.
I
yeah.
do stream blackfamostwitch.tv.
Yeah, Black Famas Twitch. Also probably OnlyFans. There might be feet pictures.
Oh,
somewhere.
don't go
Shameless
there.
plug.
I mean, look at him. He sells feet pictures. He probably
Hey, what
buys
did you
them
say
too.
the
Sell more than
OnlyFans
that.
was?
Black Famas.
Oh.
Wait, why'd you reiterate?
It's an interesting name. You're not French.
Okay.
But yes, you've heard him. You guys know him. Oscar is here with us. How are you
Cheers,
doing?
mate. I'm actually doing really good. Just got off a lot of personal stuff, kind of sorted my shit out, and right now I'm just happy to be finally back in another episode. It's been what, like 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a while. Been a bad host. Some moving parts, but eventually, we'll get to more frequent uploads. We are joined by two other amazing people.
We got new people in here?
We have new people.
Oh my
and It should
God.
be an amazing podcast.
Guests.
It should be an amazing show today.
Yes.
The first one going. Actually, no, we'll do ladies first. Jess, welcome to the show.
Hello.
See, this is the part of the true first test. The microphone. Get closer. It's really weird. So, get closer and try it, and you'll hear yourself.
It's a pleasure to
There
be
you go.
here.
Welcome. It's great to have you. We finally got you on the show, and we have, of course, your illustrious husband, Jeremy.
How's it going?
Good, man. It's
Yeah.
so great to have you. We are here. I know we probably feel really like some middle-aged white men right now, and that's okay.
I mean, not too far off.
I'm
Not
used to
too
this.
No, not too far off.
I mean, if you die at 50, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. If you die at 50, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I turn 25 in August. That's pretty
Jesus,
crazy.
You're fucking old.
I feel it.
Yeah,
I feel it on a
You know,
spiritual level.
the one thing they don't tell you when you're leaving the military is, despite how young you are, even upon expel of the military, is how old you start to feel when you go through your VA processes.
Oh yeah.
I felt like a geriatric
When
walking
you're-
in a VA hospital.
You feel like you've lived a whole life already.
Yeah.
When you're told to actually focus and pay attention to your body, you realize so many things are wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you go, in my case, 20 years not caring about your body,
Yeah.
and then you get fat as hell, and you're like, oh,
Okay, by all stretches of imagination, Jeremy, you are not a fat man.
I've lost 40 pounds almost.
That's good.
Oh, okay. Well,
Proud
good
of
for you.
What'd you
look
do?
He just stopped. He just said, you know what? Enough.
No, I
He's-
just got fat as fuck.
He's convinced that he was morbidly obese at one point.
But what did you do to lose the weight though?
Oh, just started moving again. I just started, working.
What a phenomenal concept.
He said,
Yeah.
"No gym."
I love how I love how zero of that was this bullshit. So I spend $100 a month on a gym membership. I live, eat, and breathe at the gym. I also take all these supplements, like any trainer would tell you to do.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Whereas no, I just started moving my body.
Yeah, I was
like-
moving, and it just started working, and weight shed off pretty quickly.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Oh yes, we have the alcohol review, fine folk. The important alcohol review.
I'm so happy that you did this today.
The last one that we did, this was another Josh one that I picked up. This was at the commissary for $8. It's a Pinot Noir. Oscar has the bottle. It's a Pinot Noir. I think the vintage is 2021.
Yeah.
We tried last time Josh Cabernet Sauvignon, but this is Josh Pinot Noir. Go ahead and read something.
Yeah, it says our Pinot blah, 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 blah. Our Pinot Noir. You know what's crazy is that's
Ahoy,
exactly who
Manoy.
I thought of, right?
Do you want me to read it?
Like Doodlebomb. I can read.
Mijo, I mean,
Is
yo,
elegant
You have
and
not
refined.
convinced me.
This wine benefits from the ideal cool climate of the Central Coast, resulting in lush cherry and strawberry flavors with a scent of lightly toasted oak. I mean, I didn't smell oak when I smelled it.
Great. Let's see. I mean, it's nice. I like it. It's good. Maybe some cherry. Like if you tried one of the Rainier cherries outside, you probably would be like, oh yeah, that's kind of familiar.
I'm
Not
definitely
s-
getting the cherries.
Yeah, cherries. Not a whole lot of oak. Like it doesn't have like the deep oak flavor that a whiskey would have.
I mean, me personally, you mentioned that it was dry earlier. I'm not I'm getting that dry feeling.
Well, Pinot is not on the dry, like super dry. You know, there are drier wines out there, but this is it's pretty nice for $8.
It's definitely not a red wine that you'd pair with a steak or anything.
It's
but
really good though. I like it a lot.
It's quite nice.
I
Not
like
bad.
it a lot.
$8 can't fucking knock that shit.
no,
I'm
not at all.
allowed to drink
That
all of
is-
this. I'm not savoring it
That is
whatsoever.
edible.
I'm drinking it all.
As someone who doesn't drink, my water tastes great.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
Washington Tap.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, this is gonna be great. We have a bit of a show for you guys today. I know we've kind of gone through many different news cycles already, but we are going to talk about some things that are pretty fucking important. We are going to be. I skim the internet as I'm one to do, and there are just there's just some things out there, folks, where you're just like, this is acceptable behavior.
I feel like nothing really massive has been occurring, and mostly it's a lot of just kind of small petty stuff, but it's the small petty stuff that'll really impact a society, especially just like really small shit that just like how you construe it in a bigger mass, especially
The small
like
things that
this,
go viral that kind of stick in everyone's
this
brain.
first
Yeah.
topic is like general, like you look at it and you're like, oh, this isn't really that big of an issue, but in reality it could span as an issue in the next 15-20 years and continue to grow as if it's a plague or a parasite, and it's concerning as it is.
Well, I mean, largely it is. It's been that way. We're now in maybe the 5th, 6th decade that this is really, we're starting to see the fruits of the poisonous tree that they've planted all that time ago. Everyone's seen the video. I love the video. It's so funny. It's so funny. These super excited NYU students who have finally done it. They've gone through the schoolwork. They've tested. The final exams are done. And now they get to go out in the world, be adults, and use their phenomenal degrees to do amazing things for the world, the country, and humanity at large. Let's go and see what some of these students got their degrees in.
Jacob, and my concentration is environmental science and sustainable business.
Hi, my name is Lex, and my concentration is the performance of self.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. My concentration is creative direction, production, and narrative through the arts, performance, and written word.
Hi, my name is Karine.
Did she say what of self?
Performance of self.
Performance of self, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
what
not
is-
even
is
all
that
of
like
it.
a personal trainer?
That's
Yeah,
not even
what-
all of it.
Is it a
Yeah,
life coach?
performance of self. No, these are going to be the future leaders of America. These are people who are going to be
I mean,
not only making you your latte in the morning, but also are going to be doing things on the behind the scenes on the Twitter.
If I'm being unbiased, that first and third degree sounds pretty genuine. Like they're solid degrees. The second one just makes no sense to me.
The first one sounded good.
Yeah,
Okay.
the third
Okay.
one
Can we
doesn't
have a
sound too
re-listen
bad.
to that first one?
Yeah, let's go and listen to the first one. Oscar is convinced it's great.
Jacob, and my concentration is environmental science and sustainable business.
Hi, my
Okay.
name is Lex,
Okay.
and
Sure.
my concentration is the performance of self.
Oh, yeah,
Like, what
that
the fuck
bitch.
is
Hi,
that?
I'm Gabrielle.
That
My
bitch.
concentration
Right.
is creative
Yeah.
direction, production, and narrative through the arts, performance, and written word.
Hi, my name
That's
is
not bad.
Karina Gomez, and my concentration is in journalism and Latin American studies, with an emphasis in human rights, collective memory, and political violence.
Collective memory.
Hi,
huh?
my name is Stephanie.
Let's just go ahead and like walk around the tree of possible things to put on a piece of paper and a certificate and point at all the things that talk about racism,
I mean,
political violence,
human rights is something that can be,
It can be very useful.
I feel
if
like that
it's-
can be useful along with journalism.
When these people say human rights, they immediately
they-
assume that
they mean-
it's just racism.
Well, then
Yeah,
that they are
we're no
fighting.
different by assuming vice versa. Then I mean that's just how I see it.
Right, but the assumptions that they have to be making and presumptions about the United States are false.
I'll tell you what. That last one really strikes home with me because she starts off strong with the journalism degree. I was like, oh, okay, I wanted to pursue a journalism degree. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start to go more in depth and you talk about political violence and
The fuck is that? Assassinations?
I mean,
that's
I
the
don't.
only thing that makes sense to me. Political violence doesn't mean.
Well, you could also consider
Or maybe riots
in
as
society, in the
protests?
society we live in, right?
weaponizing your political standing.
There we go. I like that. Mudslinging. Mudslinging's a
when they
possible
bap people in the
option.
head with their picket signs.
Yeah, I mean it's a thing. We see it all the time. Mudslinging is damaging in itself, and personally, I find it to be just completely unnecessary. I mean, I understand that mudslinging is very effective in political campaigns, but that's why me personally, being as a streamer, you being a content creator yourself, and you see content creators all around the world and influencers or people of fame, you can't get famous without dirt being found.
Well, let me
That's
go
just
ahead.
how it
Let
I
me
mean,
go
it's the same concept as like all publicity is good publicity, even if it's bad publicity.
Right.
Precisely.
Your
I mean,
name's
look
out
at
there.
Logan Paul, man.
Look at Donald Trump.
Yeah, that
let
too.
me go ahead and show you, or tell you at least. I saw this on Twitter / X, whatever you want to fucking call it, not too long ago, within the week, and this is on the topic of journalism, and what it really is. It's never been unbiased.
Yeah,
No.
never
God.
been.
It leans
Unfortunately.
one way or the
And you look at
Pretty
Fox
heavily.
News with their firing of Tucker Carlson, the one thing that was keeping Fox like afloat, basically. And you're like, just because he
I was
mentioned,
a fan of Fox and
just
Friends. Okay?
just because he mentioned God, and they fired him.
Yep.
It really just sort of opened it. I was like, okay, they're all bad,
Yep.
all of them. Some jackass, no lie with Cohen, right? That fucking idiot degenerate.
Why did they fire Tucker and not
they
Hannity?
they had there was a video actually of Biden doing another one of his freezing things, his freezing moments,
Mhm.
remembering the nom that he wasn't in, right?
That's right.
Um,
His dementia freeze.
his dementia freeze.
That's right.
And he is
And his
standing there
shitty
on
pants.
the. He's like, oh,
his
that's
two
gonna
brain
itch when it
cells
dries.
Yeah, that feels really good on my stomach.
And he is standing there on the stage with Barack Obama and Kimmel, I think.
Yeah.
And he freezes, and Obama does the thing that everybody around Biden has to do and grab him and shovel him along, so that way the marionette guy upstairs, I guess, fell asleep. So they have to get the cats in his body moving again.
Well, I mean, in that video, if you notice, even when Obama kind of yanks him to the side, he doesn't
Yeah.
even move right away.
No, he doesn't.
He's
he
just, like,
finally
so
comes
rigid.
comes back to
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah,
He's like,
he
oh
snaps
shit,
back
I'm
into
here.
his
Yeah.
body,
The one thing I do appreciate of
Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay, my bad.
He
No, it's okay.
is ushered off, right? And then what they do is this same person, the no lie with Cohen, they edit it, manipulate the video, right? Zoom out at the moment where Obama has to go in there and grab him and say, look, nothing's wrong here. Nothing's happening. This is just the normal Republican rhetoric of Biden being an old geriatric fuck. No, you can't see that here. And if you look, you can still see the same shit that Obama was doing.
Yeah, and it's crazy because
There's two edits to the same video.
even if you browse the internet in any capacity, you can
find it.
You can find multiple videos of this.
If Biden has fallen down that many times on camera, it's safe to say that he is falling down in all aspects of his life.
Oh, yeah.
100%. If I see you smoke crack one time, you're a crackhead.
I presume you to be a crackhead.
I mean, even to further that point, we've seen Joe Biden potentially shit his pants
Yeah.
several times. And if we can assume that he did it on stage or in a video, in a clip or whatever, at least once,
He's
it's a
doing
pretty
it all
safe
the
assumption
time.
that he might be wearing Depends.
Can you imagine for a moment being the aide that has to change the president's diaper?
No.
there has to be.
I
a guy
mean,
like that.
like, can you like imagine him laying him down on the adult size changing table, baby powder, the works, and him just talking about some ice cream he had in fucking
I wonder how the interview
94?
process goes to like hire someone like that. It's like, okay, are you
and
female?
they
Are
swear
you
them
under the age of 30? You need to be of a
Also-
certain ethnicity
also
as well. By the way.
they swear them to a higher form of security clearance than anybody else in the government. Is
And
no,
you-
they cannot know the president actually shits himself.
And no one can know that one of his testicles hangs
Yeah.
significantly
Lower
lower
than the other. Yeah.
Because it's not like he's on a table. I'm convinced that he's just bent over.
They can't know. They can't know if it's left or right. They
Yeah.
can't know if it's left or
Yeah.
right.
No.
We have to keep Russia guessing.
We do. They're
But
like
that's like that's what I was saying earlier. Is something that I actually appreciate and value. Is that I do feel like a lot of media, especially nowadays, whether it be liberal or conservative, People are noticing. No one's really brain dead to this.
And that's why people are fleeing in droves over to Trump.
Precisely.
Now,
Or
in the
Robert.
same vein,
Or
in the
Robert.
same vein, this no lie, quote unquote, which I commented, is this name supposed to be ironic? He submitted a photo, not a video, of Trump leaving the stage in a Florida rally. And
It is pretty sus that they do call them rallies, though.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah.
The freeze frame is of Trump touching the hand, shaking the hand of his son.
Mm.
And then he sells it as,
Holding
look
his
at
hand.
Trump needing to be helped off the stage in
Yeah.
Florida. And they want to poke fun at Biden. And then you go and you look for the video, and lo and behold, he's full of shit.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's just, this is the thing. This is journalism now.
that's mudslinging.
Is
I mean,
you just
don't get me wrong.
lie.
Trump is older than fucking
No,
dirt, but he's
mudslinging.
he's walking.
He's
Mudslinging.
Yeah.
Mudslinging is actual mud. Like, you throw mud at Biden, it's like your son is a legit criminal. Your whole family is corrupt. They have been for decades. You've been funneling money out of the United States because you're foreign business dealings through your son. That is mudslinging. Actual shit. Doing that, throwing what that guy just did to Trump in this instance of this frozen image and saying that he needed to be helped off stage is water. Because it was nothing of substance. It was
It's not tangible.
so easily disproven.
None of it
Right.
will stick.
But like that's the whole point of it.
Well,
It's
also
meant
Trump
to-
is like a mud monster. He doesn't really fucking care.
Yeah.
But that's like
He
the
thrives
whole
in the
point
mud.
of it, right? And yeah, as much as I agree with you on journalism in that sense, journalism is still very, very much a competent and understandable degree. Me personally, that's the whole reason why I decided not to pursue
then again-
journalism is because of this.
But then
now.
again, you say it's a tangible degree. What the fuck are these people being taught? Because I presume that guy had to have some degree in journalism.
I don't know.
What are they
I
being
truthfully
taught?
don't think they're being taught
They're not
anything.
being taught anything.
I think that what they're doing is operating their journalism based on
Oh, your beautiful voice.
I know.
It's so clear now.
Get out.
They're operating it purely based on feeling.
Truly.
They're not operating
Yeah.
based on fact. It's not factual journalism anymore.
They're
It's
headline
feeling journalism.
chasing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you look at the earlier days of, or like look at the Hippocratic Oath for doctors, shall do no harm, right? There was nothing for journalism, right? It was
No.
supposed to be sort of like, I guess their sort of like quasi sort of motto should have been like, verifiable facts and references and sources. And now there's like, look at Trump needing to get helped off of a fucking stage.
As corny as this may sound,
As terrible
I know
and-
for a fact there's people out there that do pursue journalism and they want nothing more than to share the truth, but then they realize the hard, cold truth, and that is they're not going to get paid for telling the truth.
No.
They're going to get paid.
It depends on where you go.
Yeah,
It
and
depends
Unless
on
you're
where
an
you go.
independent journalist and
Yeah.
you work for yourself, you have your own website, your own everything.
Yeah,
But
but how
even
successful
then,
is even
your
that?
Right,
your
it's
material
hard to
isn't
gain
going to get
traction.
monetized.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like we can
it's-
get, like if I chose to monetize the website, we could get money for that. The show is monetized, so that there's that. But
the only
I'm not
company I
gonna
can think
plaster
of-
my website with ads that look fucking terrible.
The only company I can think of is the Daily Wire, but even then,
I mean,
that's
they do.
The Daily
They
Wire is
do-
mostly clickbait.
Yeah, and even then, it's also mostly conservative. But who's a
Well,
I'm a
I mean,
big fan of Shapiro.
Daily Wire.
Shapiro's not a conservative. He's made that perfectly clear many times. That
No,
he's
he
not-
is a conservative.
I thought he
he's
was.
a conservative.
I thought he was libertarian.
Absolutely not. No. They're well aware of the Overton window shifting over, so they changed. No, he maybe 20 years ago, maybe, but no, he's a conservative. And the difference between like Daily Wire and almost all of the other websites and media sources is they actually show you what's being talked about and
Yeah.
what's going on. Where it's hard to say that for literally anybody else. Look at this fucker, no lie. What the fuck?
I mean,
Like you just did something so easily proven wrong,
my
and you
feed-
think you're gonna get away with it, and you're not accountable.
my
Pretty
feed has
contradictory
been,
name.
It's ridiculous.
has
But
been
there's more
flooded.
degrees. You want to hear more degrees?
Yeah.
And I studied the sociology of environmental communication.
Hi, my name is Reed, and I study music business and gender studies.
Hi,
Nah,
my name
we
is
don't need that one.
Dominique, and I studied care politics with a minor in disability studies.
My name is Elliot Wright, and my concentration is art as a social mechanism.
Hi, I'm Georgia, and my concentration is dramatic writing and theatrical adaptation.
My name is Noah Loyacano, and my concentration is equilibrium or negotiated paradox.
Hi, my
What?
name is
Fuck does
Sophia.
that
Hold on,
mean?
stop. What?
Equilibrium and what?
He said-
Social paradox?
Negotiated.
Yeah,
I think one of the things, I guess, paradoxes are negotiable because they're things that don't have the right answer.
can I just be frank for once?
What a fucking that guy is making you your morning latte.
Can I be frank?
That guy.
There's
And
no
gonna
way
get
he's
you
gonna.
most
He's
of
not
them.
gonna have a job lined up
Some
when
of
he
them-
gets out of
Where
college.
would you get employed?
Through that
Yourself.
second second part of degrees being sounded off, low key, the one that sounded the most sane was gender studies, and even
No.
then,
No.
that was the most
No.
sane.
No,
one.
the most sane one there was
If
the
you cannot tell immediately what a career field might entail, it's not a good degree.
One
Yeah,
of the ones
totally
that
agree.
really stood out to me was the art as a social mechanism. I'm not even entirely sure what that would
Yeah, me
mean.
neither. Yeah,
I think that
It's some
that
bullshit
is-
to convey stories through art and stuff like that, and political messaging through art.
So wouldn't that just be a regular art degree? What?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
the whole? What is
It
the whole
should
concept?
be.
Yeah.
It
it's
should
very
be.
wordy for no reason.
With a hyper focus on probably the political shit.
Like, who's
And-
gonna hire someone with art as a social mechanism? What does that even encompass?
Maybe the museum.
Maybe
and-
like a
maybe.
PR
But
team.
like you're
I'm gonna go
scrubbing
to a
toilets.
slam poetry
That's right.
session to make some friends. Is
So
what
the only
I'm gonna
one
use slam poetry on this Twitter feed for the president. Like
Yeah.
that's like
the only
that's what
one
I
in that
think
whole
of.
lineup that even made any sense was
Music.
the music or the theatrical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
degree
yeah, that was
adaptation.
pretty
because
solid.
because that is a career that you have
Oh, yeah.
immediately. It's always
Yep.
hiring. They always need people for anything in that field. But the one that doesn't make any fucking sense is the gender studies. We don't need gender
No, we
studies.
don't.
We don't need
it
any of
usually
that.
It is
never
such
makes
a
sense.
it is such a non-controversial thing. Gender studies.
Mm.
Oh, they're men and women. Holy shit, that's crazy.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
But the
I
fact
hope
now-
it's like a 1-day degree.
The fact is
should
now,
be.
though, with gender studies, is that there's 727 fucking genders out there.
Yeah, go fly a
and
kite.
Yeah.
my left arm identifies,
Yeah.
and then my right leg identifies
My
as this gender.
my right foot identifies as
Now,
Quentin Tarantino.
obviously, me being me, I'm so okay with people doing things like this. I just don't see it being a degree. That's just me.
no,
Exactly.
absolutely not.
And
I-
these people are so happy. They're so convinced that this is the gateway to a life of success. And
It's
these are the
not.
people who are going to be 4 months later complaining that nobody's hiring. And this is the funniest thing is we hear that a lot is that college degrees don't necessarily make sure you get a job.
Correct.
Maybe it's because of this shit.
Maybe you're choosing
Maybe
a
because they're getting
completely
stupid
flaccid
degrees.
career
Exactly.
choice. Yeah.
It's as,
Maybe that might be it.
Yeah.
It's as Charlie Kirk says that college is a scam. College is a scam.
If
And
you guys are
And you could
interested,
tell by everybody that these people are just there and they just got indoctrinated. You can see it on the look of their
Very
face.
clearly.
if you guys are interested, I did try to do a little bit of research on this topic specifically, and I found thedeanslist.org, and it's a completely unironic website of the top 10 wokest majors and minors in the United States currently.
This is from a .org site.
This is from a .org, thedeanslist.org, and it says the Dean's List team created a unique top 10 list for radical majors and minors offered by universities around the country. And it changes every 2 weeks, so keep checking back.
That's how you know it's a problem.
Yeah.
When your top
Every
10
2
changes
weeks.
every two
That's
weeks,
insane.
that's how you know that you've created
Oh,
a
for
problem.
sure.
Not that there is a problem, it's that you've created a problem.
They've
Yeah.
manufactured
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
What is our top 10?
The number one is Marxist and Socialist Studies minor.
Oh,
Of
hell
course.
no.
Of
What
course.
the fuck?
Of course.
Let's see. The
Of course.
second one is Queer Studies.
Naturally.
Yeah. They just need to be studied.
Yeah, no, they
It gives a brief description.
They take it in the ass. That's interesting.
That
Put
should have
down.
never been a number 2.
The brief description is
Well, there
this
is some number
program
two.
seeks to legitimate cis academic inquiry into sexuality, sex, and gender, to pose questions of normativity and power, and to foster community with and for historically marginalized groups.
Oh,
I
that
have-
was the most wokest fucking example of woke verbiage and ideologues I've
you could
ever
just
heard.
be an activist.
That
Why
was
do you
like-
need a degree for that?
That was like
Exactly.
that was like a fucking
I have a pretty staunch stance on this. I don't think that it needs to be studied. I
No,
don't
it
think that
doesn't.
there needs to be any
I mean,
activists
I'm
about
pro
it.
LGBT, man. I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to be an activist, by all means. If you want to build a larger community
Sure.
and fight for equal
Absolutely.
rights in the queer
But the
community,
problem
it's
is here
fine.
is that when you point yourself out and you make yourself a known community, it drives people to you that don't like you.
yeah,
Versus
naturally.
if you
naturally.
if
Live
you
your
just
life.
live your life, say you're fucking gay. Okay, dude, be gay. Why does everyone have to know about it? No one cares if you're gay.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit if you're gay. No one cares if you suck dicks or you don't suck dicks.
But then
That's
again,
not a problem.
But then again, we're gonna throw it in your face even further by having a whole month dedicated to it.
Correct.
So that way you have to know about it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we
there's a-
have to be able to talk about
There's
kids
a month for
too.
everything, man. I love my
No, there's
Hispanic
not.
Heritage Month. I love it. It's great.
Exactly. So there's Black History Month.
Yeah.
There's Pride Month. That's about it.
Well, there's more. I mean, there's
Really?
there's Asian Pacific Islander Month. There is Men's Mental Health Awareness
is
Month.
there?
Yes.
Is there? Why
Yeah.
doesn't everybody know about it?
People know about it.
Some.
On the largest scale, though, no one knows about
No
it
one
because
knows about it.
it's not
in
talked
those
about in the same.
instances-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not talked about in the same
I would-
way.
I would
as-
argue-
Why don't
I would-
all of the companies change their adorable little X logos to be some
Oh,
sort of
that-
art
in
depicting
those
such
instances,
things?
it's those groups specifically that are celebrating that month and celebrating their culture and
Yeah.
their
That's
experiences.
a good point.
Whereas in
versus
America,
with LGBTQ
everyone
and
has to.
African American History Month, it's very much everyone needs to be a part of it, or otherwise you're
This might be
transphobic or you're
there's
homophobic.
people who get pissed off when companies don't make Black History Month or
Yeah.
Pride Month addresses,
I mean-
as in like little messages that they
Yeah,
send.
This
and
out.
might be a personal bias, but I feel like Men's Mental Health Awareness Month gets really swept under the rug quite often.
It might.
When's that?
I'm pretty sure that was last month.
You're pretty sure. See,
Yeah.
exactly my point.
Pretty sure that was
Nobody
last month.
really knows this shit. We're told we have to know Black History Month and we have to know Pride Month.
Yeah.
But
there
I
are,
am,
there
I
are
am like-
definitely holidays and months that celebrate a lot of things that should or could deserve the same amount of monetization and celebration and acknowledgement, but it's not happening that way because
But
these people aren't trying to.
it
push
doesn't
their-
look good. No one really fucking
Yeah.
cares about the other people. That's it.
That is correct.
That's the
And
answer.
I think the problem
Nobody
here
really cares.
also is that if no one ever made these things issues as big as they are, no one would give a shit.
And we would all just be living our lives.
Yeah, we'd be like, oh, look, that guy is fucking gay. Congratulations for him. Good for him.
If the LGBTQ ARP community didn't formulate and create this community, this organization effectively now, we wouldn't have such issues and they wouldn't feel obligated and there wouldn't be such sort of countering for the fact that they're trying to include pedophiles into this list
Yeah.
of LGBTQ. And I remember when it first came up and they were like, oh no, we don't want that. We don't want that. They're doing it behind the scenes.
And while I do acknowledge that side of the LGBTQ plus community, it is also a very small portion of it that is trying
Right.
to push that
And it's the
ideology on
pedophiles.
people. Exactly.
yeah, but
it's
when
the
you have
fucking
one
pedophiles.
small portion of a community trying to include pedophiles into your community, it kind of eliminates the
Exactly.
everything they
Exactly.
worked for.
The
You
validity.
should stand up and say no.
No, we don't like people
But they
who
don't.
fuck kids.
But they don't know because this group has been indoctrinated in the idea that you have to be quote unquote tolerant and you have to be accepting so long as those beliefs or things coincide with your ideologues. If it happened to be about religion, whiteness, anything like that, you have to hate it vehemently and not be tolerant.
Yeah.
It is the most asinine backwards thing
So in my efforts
that you can think of.
to kind of like help like show you when Men's Mental Health Awareness Month was, I searched it up, and lo and behold, to my surprise, because I could have sworn it was last month, it's this month, but it is overshadowed by Pride Month.
Wow.
Well, if
it is,
that's not on the agenda,
it's
I don't know
so
what is.
June
Yeah.
June is Pride Month naturally. I knew it was
And
Pride
a
Month.
final point before
Yeah.
but like
we continue these degrees. Thank you for the clarification.
yeah.
A final point before we continue these degrees is this is how they've worked. The left, the political aisle. You change words, you change definitions, because if you change people's words and definitions, it changes how they think.
that's
So
true.
now we don't call them pedophiles.
We call them MAPs, minor attracted
Yes,
persons.
we completely dilute the meaning of something with the word which summarizes it completely as something being wrong that we all know is wrong, and you dilute it to mean something that map. Oh, that's
I wonder what
I
that
have
is.
those on my walls. Like what?
Yeah.
Oh, minor attracted persons.
It
Yeah,
takes-
that sounds a lot less terrible than pedophile. You change the
It
word.
takes the sting out of it.
Exactly. You change the word, and not the sting, because it's supposed to
invoke a
nullify
feeling in you.
Exactly. It's supposed to nullify and act like this is just, it's fine. It's okay.
Mhm.
No, it's not their fault. Well, one, it is. And two, they need to get help. They don't need to be indulging in such ideologies. It's illegal.
Like,
there you
obviously
go.
it's wrong, but rather than treating it as if it's or rather than socially accepting it, or rather than demonizing these people, we should be doing everything in our power to be trying to treat these people, because obviously they got something going on in their heads.
Well,
making it
maybe
think
there
like this
is
something
pretty
else.
maybe
simple
there's
way
a
to
case
treat it.
study. Yeah, 9 mil.
There
Maybe
you
there's
go.
a case study. Maybe there could be research done to see if it is a treatable ailment. But you know what? I don't think we should waste resources. If somebody's already that deep where they're starting to defend that shit and calling themselves a map, they're far too gone anyway. We need to fucking end it.
Because
These
at that
are
point,
evil people.
they are thinking that it's okay.
These are evil people.
Yeah.
And there are studies that show that men and women alike who were molested young develop these things because that was one of their first core memories. So they develop these feelings towards people who are the same age as they were when they were molested. And that still doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, it
in any
doesn't.
capacity. If you have those feelings, that's up
And
to you.
it's also just another thing.
None of us need to know. It doesn't
of
need to be acted on.
Untreated trauma as well. They needed to talk to somebody about it.
And they never
that
did.
was a solution. They never did.
And just so it feels like we're not training off topic here, the whole conversation is the fact that these degrees are inadherent. And when we're talking about gender studies, we're also talking about all forms of gender studies and the encompassment of maps being instilled within
those
LGBT.
those degrees are fucking crazy. Please continue that list, because it is absolutely amazing.
With number 3, we go into diversity and inclusion studies.
Yep.
So diversity studies, I agree with, but
No.
the inclusion studies, it just doesn't feel with.
This all is
I will tell you why later. Let's finish the list, and I'll tell you why that's a bunch of crock of shit.
That specific one is all encompassed with social inequality, the politics of race, gender, and sexuality, and the power and difference.
Right. Okay. Next one.
Number 4 is secular studies.
Naturally,
What
of course.
What does that even mean?
Non-religious.
Yeah, eradicate religion in the West.
Oh,
wow.
hell no.
Eradicate.
Wow.
I'm pretty partial to this, and there's a lot of reasons, and I'm not.
Which is fucking amazing, seeing as how you're an atheist.
Right.
Incredible. Why would you say that, Jeremy?
I think that religion, pretty sensitive, I guess. Eradicating, maybe. Ooh, shit, bumpy.
I heard a loud boom. And
I know. Maybe
bang?
eradicating isn't the word, but I think that in the United States, we need to quit pretending that religion is the end-all be-all, and it makes you a good person, or it makes your community good, or it does good things for your community, when in reality, it's a group of people who get together and they all believe in the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few people within this group that go out and they go door to door and they bother people.
Right.
That needs to be eradicated.
Proselytize.
I don't think that religion needs to be eradicated. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
That's super weird.
Dystopian, hella.
It's super dystopian. But
Thank you, Google.
I'm not going to bed.
No, you're fine.
I don't
You're
have
fine.
a bedtime.
You don't
Google.
need a bathe.
I am an adult. Google.
It did specify the boys, so I believe
True,
that I'm
the boys.
exempt from
You are
this.
exempt.
Yeah, you can stay dirty and stay
Stay on.
Yeah, you stay
No,
awake.
on your note of the process. So Catholic, ex-Catholic, agnostic, atheist.
I'm actually agnostic too. so it's
Agnostic,
like,
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Ex-Catholic, but yeah. There are definitely things, and my biggest viewpoint is Protestants have gotten it all wrong. And they have taken what was supposed to be something that is supposed to be unifying,
right,
and dignifying in a way where you're not prideful, right? And
it's not supposed to be so inherently ingrained in your being that you discredit or you disrespect other people.
We all understand, and we're all and those are fake Christians.
Correct.
Those are not real Christians.
Correct.
Who are you to pass judgment over somebody?
Yeah.
And they forget these things because they're falling prey to human nature,
human desire, human nature.
human nature. They're falling prey to it.
And they fall prey not only to human nature, but I mean, I guess side by side, the people that they surround themselves with.
Oh yeah.
Someone who doesn't start off this way.
Mm-hmm.
They go into their religion, they go to church, they do their thing, they don't bother anybody, and then they meet that one person who is so radicalized,
Right.
and that's either the good or the bad way. It doesn't matter. The good way, you need to get everyone into your religion because you think it's going to save everybody,
Right.
and then that dilutes your message,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't invite. It's not inviting.
And this
in
is
any capacity.
this is very interesting. And yeah, this, the proselytizing is very much. It's not received well,
No.
And there's been scams before. People on base, like Georgia, people would roll up in a car, or like even here on JBLM, they would roll up in a car and say, "Hey, you do not know these people." They would, "Hey, we're going to church. Do you want to come?"
Fucking no.
Yeah, don't know you. No.
Yeah, I'm not getting in your
And
fucking
the
car.
issue would be, especially for service members, is they would, take them to church and they would just try and extort them for money.
Yep.
But another thing, for religion, there is something to be said of people who are forgetting the way, as far as like Christianity is concerned. Catholicism was one of the ways early on, and the Protestants basically just picked and chose what they wanted out of it, and just ran away with it.
Yeah.
We killed him for that.
Mormons, for example,
We
the
killed
guy
him
who
for that.
started Mormonism
There's a sci-fi writer.
took a quote unquote seeing a stone, a magic stone, put something in I don't know if it was the Bible, I fucking forget. He put it inside a hat and would go put his head in the hat and then translate quote unquote the Bible or whatever scripture he was using, and somebody was notating it down, and that's how they got the Book of Mormon. And that's how they got it. So they're taking something, maybe it was the Bible, which in that case it would be completely sacrilegious and blasphemous to even do such a thing, but they still sell the idea of following the way of Jesus Christ. It's like, no, you took it and you bastardized it, and now you're going door to door bothering a bunch of people who try to avoid you.
And
they will turn off the fucking lights to avoid you.
I mean, not only that, it's inherently weird and it's super bizarre that in that religion, being Mormon, you aren't allowed to have caffeine. You aren't allowed to watch rated R movies. You aren't allowed to do these certain things that inherently aren't wrong in any capacity. It's like the guy who created it, for some reason, saw a rated R movie, and he was like,
Yeah.
none of my people are going to watch that.
That's literally how it goes.
Yeah.
Is they
And that's
just
fucking
pick and
weird, dude.
choose.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
It's just blasphemous. It is.
I feel like I can agree with him in a lot of sense in this matter because I used to be atheist before I was agnostic. I claimed I was atheist around the age of like 13 or 14. And, it was because like I was really depressed. I just blamed God for all wrongdoings. I also blamed religion for all wrongdoings. I felt like religion was a form of conflict. If anything, all it did was really cause division and endless spews of wars.
Yeah,
And
in
it-
the
and-
early days, it caused war.
I mean,
Yeah.
in its current state, it still does.
Yeah,
in a lot of
if-
capacity,
if
it is.
Absolutely.
If you want to go on like an anthropological answer, all human conflict has been theological.
But one thing
From
that
the
really
dawn of
stuck
time.
out to me,
All.
and that was when I was at a very young age, my parents were possibly going to go through divorce. And I remember my dad, he was on the phone with me, or my stepdad at the time. And he was giving me like a heart-to-heart conversation. And me, at the time, I despised my father. And he's like, what is this talk I'm hearing that you don't believe in God anymore, that you're atheist, that you hate God, you hate religion? I'm like, well, frankly, I just don't see a point in it. What has he ever done for me? What has he ever done for you? What has he ever done for this fucking family? Everything's going down in shambles. And he goes, what has he ever done for me? Well, I'll tell you what. There was a time in my life when I didn't even think I believed in God. But when I was dying and like my whole squad was killed in that IED accident in war, and the first thing I thought of was holding on to my cross, who was there for me then? God. And in that limelight, right, I didn't choose to believe in Christianity in that sense, but I chose to accept that religion is not just a unifying tool. It is meant to give humanity hope. To eradicate it completely would mean to eradicate the hope that some humanity still has left in themselves.
And I think this could be the extra topic that we add on to the end of this show. Is a theological discussion, because it would be very interesting. Go ahead and finish that list for us, and we'll burn through that. And we'll just let you finish the whole list, and we'll agree with you at the end.
Okay. With
We'll let her go because she's not going to go to bed. She's not going to
Yeah,
bed.
she's nice. She doesn't bathe. Thanks, Google. They probably didn't even hear on the show.
Good job, Google.
with number 5, and bear with me, I'm going to read the description on this one, but it's called Recreation and Leisure Studies.
So being lazy?
It says, "What's the perfect major for those who Netflix and chill 24/7? Recreation and leisure studies helps others learn to nurture their emotional, physical, and cognitive health while having a little
bit
fun."
more into the mic.
And the description of the course says students play Scrabble in the program's website photo.
I'm gonna refrain from not making a comment.
I'm going to make a comment and say those people that take that course are fucking
stupid
idiots.
They literally spent tens of thousands of dollars to be idiots.
Yeah, you could have just you just could have searched, what do I do at home when I don't have a job?
Crazy.
Fucking
I'm gonna let her
bizarre.
continue with the list because
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
cannot make a comment.
Number 6, we're circling back to LGBTQ plus studies.
Okay.
Number 7, we've got social justice minor. It's a minor study.
That's a minor?
Yeah, it's a minor, not a major. So you can't major in it.
What?
Number 8 is equity studies.
Naturally.
Number 9 is Master of Business Administration, which
She almost said business.
I did
Woke is that being on a woke list kind of makes sense.
a little bit. And then number 10 is Justice and Peace Studies.
Great. Okay.
Why are the ones that made the
Marvelous.
most sense at the bottom of the list?
Because they're the least woke.
They're still woke, which is the funniest part. That's just magical. In other news of people being degenerates, we have a man who uses Mrs. Rachel's likeness to spread his transgender ideology.
Slipped up there.
If you know this man, it goes on social media and it probably exclusively does this as a career at this point.
It's for sure monetized.
He sits on
Absolutely.
social media on live stream and goes to restaurants, and just waits to get misgendered. Okay? Now, he gets misgendered at probably key opportune times, like when his nutsack is hanging out of his skirt onto his chair, and they call him sir. And he has this, he has a micro kerfuffle about it, sells you the idea that he's being very polite and respectful, and then calls the manager just after when the person vehemently really apologizes and says, "I'm so sorry." We'll still call the manager and say, this is something that people's done. I specifically asked to be called,
What he'll say
a
is
hippopotamus.
It really hurts like a knife in the heart.
He says that every single
It hurts
time.
like a knife, and that's how we know that it is scripted.
He also made
it
a
is
compilation.
intentional.
He also made a compilation if it's truly traumatic. Trauma sufferers really do love immortalizing it by noting it down in video and making a compilation themselves of it and
then
posting
posting
online.
it on the internet.
Yeah,
For
they
millions
love
of
doing that.
people.
Rape victims, everybody, they love that
And
shit.
just for elaboration on, the viewers who do not know who Miss Rachel is, God forbid you do not. She is someone who educates the youth, whether you be Gen Z parents or millennial parents. You tend to, look for ways to educate your children via media, and you find out there's this Miss Rachel individual. Oh, that's haunting.
Yeah, are you ready?
I'll see that in my nightmares.
And she's actually really great. Like I showed my children.
So
this.
Miss Rachel, she has a YouTube channel called Miss Rachel Songs for Littles, where she basically teaches toddlers and stuff, sign language, colors, anything that you would want to teach a toddler. And this person is using her likeness, her outfit that she wears for her show, which probably has some copyright issues if we really want to think about it, because it's actually a business.
I guess that's
and
up
a
to Miss
trademark,
Rachel.
actually. So you probably find this interesting. Let's go and dive in.
Today we're going to talk about something super important, what it means to be transgender. It's a big word, but I promise that it's easy to understand. Ready to learn? The first thing I want you to do is close your eyes.
No.
Now think, do you feel like a boy, a girl, or a little bit of both?
All right, check off your bingo card for child abuse in the first minute.
So that is Miss Rachel, or is that the person
that
posing?
is the man who is
This
posing.
is Mr. Rachel.
This
This is Mr. King
You're gonna
Degen.
have to show her who Miss Rachel actually
Yeah,
is.
Miss
'Cause
Rachel-
I love Miss Rachel.
Okay.
She's
truth,
amazing.
Truth be told, that's exactly her outfit, and does
It
her hair the
looks-
exact same way.
Yeah.
And let's continue.
That's actually scary.
Do you have your answer? Great. Now I want you to imagine that everyone keeps telling you that you're something else.
Oh, hell
even
no.
though in your heart you know who you are.
Okay, so now, because we're going to break this shit down, because this is indoctrination. You want to talk about indoctrination right now? It's one thing to mention a concept to somebody and be like, transgender is where you do not feel like the sex of which you were born. He just started off this issue by saying that, okay, now open your eyes. Now, when somebody calls you something different, do you feel angry? It's like you immediately embed the victim mentality.
The conflict
the
is
moment
there.
that you explain this to a child. This is indoctrination. This is not healthy for anybody.
I just feel like
Especially
this
not for
person
children.
is not mentally okay.
I feel like if Miss Rachel like saw this, which I mean, she had
She
to
had to have already.
She
Has
had
to
to
have.
have, right? I would take some legal action. And-
I doubt she would ever, because this man is part of the protected class in society.
Well, even
I mean,
then,
very
like, she
clearly.
has a person in her show that's LGBTQ. The person who plays the guitar. Who is that? That's like a
I forget her name.
I don't know, but
Only
she,
thing I know about Miss Rachel
she's
is she got her
amazing,
nipples
too.
pierced.
How do you know that?
He can smell them.
No, there's a there's a
Hey, metal
slide.
tastes like
There's
house
a,
keys, and
there's
there's
a
no thing
slide,
like
and you
home.
can see them in the fucking sunlight.
Can you send it to me?
I can. Do that.
Oh god.
I love you, Miss Rachel.
Okay. Continuing on.
Make you sad inside? People who feel like this are transgender. And if you're not transgender, it's super easy to be friends with someone who is. Let's take
I'm gonna break
our
that down for
imaginary-
just a quick second.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not.
Because they're wrapped up in their whole identity being that the fact that they're transgender, that it overshadows everything else cool about them.
There's
They could be a
nothing-
fucking pro athlete, and they're like, actually,
They will be the most vapid person you
Yeah.
ever talk to.
I just don't like.
And
how
not to
this is
mention-
being broadcast to children.
Not
No,
to,
it's-
this is
it's-
this is an attempt.
Yeah,
This
It's
is an
very
attempt
uncomfortable to watch, knowing that everything about it is
designed to talk to children.
designed
It's
to
just-
talk to
it just
children.
makes it worse that he's taking on the persona of someone who already does.
A very
this.
trusted adult
yeah,
in like
exactly.
the parenting community, you know,
Absolutely.
as a
Every-
parent,
every
and you
new
show
parent
them.
I've met knows Miss Rachel.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is just concerning.
This
as it
is the product of a society who is regressing.
Especially
Correct.
as kids get to an age where they're able to YouTube search on their own.
Yeah.
Like Killian was doing that at 4 years old, 3 years old even. And if he's looking for Miss Rachel and he sees this come up on the suggested feed, it
Oh,
could
looks
pass.
like Miss Rachel.
Especially to a 3 or 4
Yep.
year old. It looks
Yep.
just like her.
Yep, it's not going to be good. And that is by design. And I really hope Miss Rachel has a sense of, is principled and actually does what's right here and pursue legal action against this man.
Absolutely.
Because she needs to.
Which,
she
like,
needs to protect her name.
I
'Cause
can
she's already
understand
run
if
into a
she
couple-
doesn't.
She's ran into a bit of flack already with her whole lukewarm toast kind of stance on the whole issue of, you know, she's supposedly a Christian of Pride Month, and she said Happy Pride Month on her broadcast, which is interesting, and that's kind of
Well, I
It's-
can
yeah.
understand when you have such a platform and when you have such a large platform and you are trying to cater to such a large degree of
Yeah.
the population, especially when it comes to children and their parents being extremely opinionated.
This is the problem is she's not catering to a large portion of the population. LGBTQ people are still a minority in the country. What is being done is a very safe stance on the whole thing. Of like, I'm gonna give my
It's
message
not
out
here nor
there,
there.
like every company does. Every company does this. They change their icon and they broadcast a certain message, like we love our LGBTQ faculty and all of our customers who, you know, take dicks up the butt and all this other stuff. We love them. We love them. We love them. We love them. And the moment like we change month, they're like, okay, change that shit back.
you know
And
what's weird about this?
it really is a thing, because if they want to sell you on the point that they really care, why are all the like Coca-Cola Dubai things not doing it? Oh,
Go
maybe
fucking
it doesn't
figure.
sell well there.
No, absolutely not.
It'd be super weird if companies, I mean, of all kind, just randomly one month out of the year, spur of the moment, we're like, actually, we really love our white employees.
Crazy.
I mean,
Fucking weird, dude.
It would be
look at
really
it
weird.
this way.
It'd be super weird.
Was it Bud Light that had a transgender spokesperson?
Dylan Mulvaney.
And
Yeah.
they
If you ever
they
wanted
were
to see an
trying to
entity,
be
I'm sorry to
inclusive.
interrupt. If you ever want to see an entity, look him up. That is an
They-
entity. That is an eldritch horror creature.
They were truly trying to be inclusive in the way that everyone is trying to be now, very woke, very much, yeah, we support
Yeah, but
trans rights and gay rights, but then they marketed to the people who have been their loyal supporters for years and years and years, and no one would buy their shit anymore.
Okay,
because
this is
they
a
upset
case
everyone.
of them doing a severe miscalculation of who their demographic is.
They had a
Exactly.
case of mistaken identity
Yeah.
because they thought
Absolutely.
they were one thing, and their supporters, or not supporters, I guess.
Their
They
customers.
Thought, they thought it was a
Customer
bunch
base.
of. They thought it was a bunch of woke college students drinking their shit.
Yeah,
Turns out it's a
no.
bunch of 55-year-old
Fucking-
men who
it's
like football.
Well, it's
Yeah.
also a bunch of dude bros in
I
college.
think,
Yeah.
I think a week after Bud Light did that commercial, or 2 weeks after, Budweiser released theirs, and it was like super American.
Oh, yeah,
like,
dude. No,
it was like
they-
a truck and shit.
Yeah, no,
well, the
they-
I was like,
thing is-
Budweiser.
Patriotism.
And I
yeah.
was like, Budweiser.
The problem with these beer companies is that they're all under one umbrella company. So if one does it, it means that they all support these things.
Anheuser-Busch.
Anheuser-Busch, correct. So my dad, I there's no way that I could possibly explain how much of a fan he was of Budweiser or Bud in general.
It's been
Right.
his only drink for 30 fucking
30
years.
Bud
Every
Light,
night.
everything, yeah.
He gets off work and he would have a couple beers. He had wall hangs in his garage, aluminum wall hangs,
Right.
king of beers.
Yep.
Threw them all out.
Yep.
He was like, I don't like
No,
this shit.
and that's
I'm not
great.
going to have anything pushed down my throat because of the fact that you want to be inclusive. I don't want to be included.
Beautiful.
I don't want to be included.
Beautiful.
He
Um,
bought probably like 8 different types of beer before he landed on one that he liked again.
And that was mostly for me being a little judgmental, being, hey, Pops, you're aware that that's the same company, you fucking ding dong.
Yeah.
Like,
If
Over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
If
For about a month.
If these companies were to have like an open seminar, you would have that guy that would just walk in there and be like, guys, just shut the fuck up and make beer.
yeah, it doesn't, there's no politics here.
Like, look,
Like,
man,
just shut the fuck
people,
up.
You-
It's
people just want to
beer.
get drunk.
you hardly have to market your shit. People are gonna buy
They know
it
you already.
regardless. Yeah.
And then you're going to shit all over your name
yeah.
I don't know.
against your main demographic,
I don't
a bunch
know.
of dude bros and middle-aged men. And you're going to be like, oh, no, they're going to love this.
I don't know
They're
what
gonna
kind of
love
war
this,
crimes
yeah.
I would commit if Corona did something like that.
While caressing the neck of the bottle.
Corona, if you ever betray me, I swear to God, I'll commit mass genocide in Mexico.
Okay. So that's great. We are going to, send them in the border. We're going to go ahead and take our
Fit
first
right in.
We're going to take our first break, folks. So catch us back after this break.
Potato.
Hi, folks. In the meantime, while we sort of get things together, why don't you go and check out the website at www.thewholemag.com. Check out the store where you can support the show. Also, we have some articles up there that you can go and get yourself versed on, gather some information, and start a conversation. Go and drop a comment and share your thoughts. Anyway, let's go and get back to your regularly scheduled program.